MEST Up is brought to you by Mid-Coast Federal Credit Union. Loading competitors. From Waynflete School, Al Gorashi and Sophie Benson. And from Kennebunk High School, Jackie Murphy and Ryan Keefe. Now drop that science, Sarah.
Hello and welcome to MEST Up, the game show that challenges Maine high school students in the forever fascinating subjects of math, engineering, science, and technology. I'm your host, Sarah Long, and I'm excited to peruse some preposterous postulates on the red team today. We have Jackie Murphy and Ryan Keefe from Kennebunk High School. Welcome, guys. And competing on the blue team, we have Al Gorashi and Sophie Benson representing Waynflete. Welcome to you guys as well. You excited to be here?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, luck being unempirical, I'll just say I wish you favorable conditions. Our teams will be competing for points across 4 rounds for placement in the semifinals at the end of this season, where the top 8 teams will be vying for victory, the MEST Up trophy, a new iPad each, and of course, eternal glory. But first, you'll have to get through the brain battle, engineer this and the grid of destiny before puzzling over the end game question. So without further delay, let's begin our little sentience sortie, or the brain battle. In this brain battle round, the first team to buzz in with a correct answer to each question will be awarded 5 points for their team, and there will be 10 questions in all, so let's get to it. Here we go with the brain battle. You fell asleep exactly 2 minutes into an exactly 2.5-minute song, which you would put on repeat. If you wake up just as it is ending and see that it is repeated 15 times, how long were you asleep? Red team.
Is it 35.5 minutes?
It is, correct. As the Indian subcontinent gradually crashed into the continent of Asia around 50 million years ago, it slowly created what relatively young mountain range? Blue team.
The Himalayas?
That's correct. From the following set, 11, 10, 8, 4, 0, 2, 41, 11, 11, 2. Which number is the mode? Blue team.
11.
Correct. The half-life of 64 grams of radioactive substance is 7.5 hours. How many grams remain after 22.5 hours?
So 32. There's 3 half-lives. 32. Then, yeah, 8.
Red team.
Is it 8?
It is not incorrect.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, 7.5.
Blue team. Do you have an answer?
16?
That's correct.
Oh,
Yep. What is the volume of a sphere of diameter 6? Red team.
Is it 216 pi?
It is not. Blue team.
Is it 432 pi?
It is not. It is 36 pi. Which is the fastest spinning planet in our solar system? Blue team.
Mercury?
Incorrect. Red team.
Jupiter?
Correct. A spiral valve inspired by a mechanism within the human eye is known as what? A. Lens valve, B. Corneal valve, C. Iris valve, or D. Optic valve? Red team.
Was it B? corneal valve?
It is not. Incorrect.
D, optic valve.
Incorrect. It is the iris valve. What element has the chemical symbol Pb from its Latin name, plumbum? Blue team?
Lead.
That's correct. How many astronomical units is the Earth from the sun?
1.
That is correct, blue team. What is the boiling point of water at sea level expressed in Kelvin? Blue team.
373.2.
That's correct. We didn't have it as exact. Well, that was the end of the brain battle, after which we have the red team at 10 points and the blue team at 30 points. But there's a lot more messed up to come, so we'll be right back with Engineer This. And welcome back to MEST Up, where we are now going to get to know our teams a little bit better. We have Jackie and Ryan from Kennebunk High School. And Jackie, I understand that you love to bake and you didn't bring me a cupcake.
I'm sorry.
Tell me about your creation that everybody in the studio is buzzing about.
My favorite thing to make is chocolate cupcakes with buttercream frosting.
That sounds good. All right, well, when you come back for the semifinals, hopefully.
Of course, I'll bring some.
Good. And what do you like to do when you're not baking?
I love to play field hockey.
Excellent. So what do you do during the winter months when you're...
I actually manage the hockey team.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Nice. And Ryan, what about you? You, I don't know how you find time to study. You have, I think, every sport of every season, right? Well, you're a
I'm actually on the
season.
hockey team.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you play, what else? Lacrosse and...
Soccer.
Soccer. Excellent. Well, welcome, guys. And we have Sophie and Al from Waynflete. And Sophie, have you seen Gravity?
Love it.
Yeah.
Great.
You want to be an astronaut, right?
Yep.
It just came out in DVD just recently, right?
Yep, I'm gonna get it.
Excellent. And Al, tell me a little bit about what you like to do when you're not studying.
I play piano.
Piano. Nice. How long have you been doing that for?
Jazz since middle school.
Nice. Well, thanks very much, guys, for coming. And now, Maya, why don't you fill us in on this week's Engineer This challenge?
Thank you, Sarah. In this week's challenge, our contestants will be combining their engineering skills with their understanding of biological ecosystems. Each team will be given a number of pipe cleaners and a set of wild animals, and their goal will be to create a food chain in which carnivores are placed higher than herbivores, with at least 2 of each type suspended above the table. And the team with the highest carnivore at the top of their food chain tower will win the 40 points from this challenge.
So, everybody ready to do this? All right, let's go.
Okay, let's put the elephant on the bottom. This is an herbivore, and then...
These 2 are carnivores.
Okay.
So we can choose this too.
So we want like... Okay.
It's too flimsy.
What if we did like a big base?
Yeah.
We should use like other animals to stand them on top of each other and like stack them. Like a square base?
Yeah.
Okay. Wrap them around each other and like make like 2 towers. Which carnivore is the lightest? We should put it on. Or is this gonna be like too unstable? No, just straight across.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we wanna wrap the pipe cleaners around it, or do you think it's better without? I'll make these little cross things.
You're halfway there, 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, how many? Oh, this is like tilting.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay. And then, yeah, more of these. 1, 2, 3.
That's another. This is we're allowed to make them. Yeah, so what are you thinking of?
Put it on top of that.
1 minute.
The alligator right down the street.
What if we use more? Okay, we need one more. Where's the other carnivore? Just stick him, he's climbing.
30 seconds.
There's no time to say it.
Try to make it even. Yeah, but what if, I feel like theirs is taller. Oh, tie him. Wait.
We only got 2 seconds.
10,
That's my carnivore. Where's the carnivore?
3,
There.
2, and 1. All right, let's go ahead and measure. We'll start with the red team. You've got your herbivores piled up there with the giraffe, the camel, the elephant, and then we've got, let's see, the crocodile or alligator, I suppose. The bear and the tiger. So let's get your height. And the bear's ear is at 7 inches. Good job, guys. All right, let's head over to the blue team. We've got, let's see, your giraffe and your rhino. And then we've got the tiger. Is that a panther?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And the lion. And the lion's foot is at 6 3/4. So the red team has it by 1/4 of an inch. Comes down to the tiniest measurements here on Messed Up. So the 40 points goes to Kennebunk, and that's it for Engineer This Challenge. We'll be right back here on Messed Up, and we'll continue with the Grid of Destiny. And welcome back to Messed Up. Our teams are head-to-head. We have the red team at 50 points and the blue team at 30 points after the Food Web Challenge. But karma can always careen out of control during our third round, the Grid of Destiny. So entropy being on the rise, chaos can always enter the system. The Grid of Destiny is set up in 4 columns, each with 4 questions of increasing difficulty and point value. The columns, of course, are delineated as math, engineering, science, and technology. So when you answer a question correctly, you'll get to choose the next question. The leading team thus far, which is the red team, starts with control of the board. Let's begin.
Can we have math for 10?
What is 13 cubed? Red team.
169.
That is incorrect.
I thought you said squared.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Blue team.
2,197.
That is correct.
Engineering for 10, please.
The measure of the turning or twisting force of an object causing it to rotate about an axis or fulcrum is known as what? Blue team.
Torque.
That's correct.
Engineering 15.
A mangonel is a medieval type of what? A, sea vessel, B, catapult, C, drawbridge, or D, crane? The correct answer is catapult. So we will go to the red team.
We have science for 10.
What ancient oath of professional and scientific ethics remains in use in an only somewhat altered form to this day? Blue team.
The one you have to recite to get into, to be a doctor.
Do you have a name?
Hippocratic Oath.
That is correct.
Engineering 20.
The construction of what waterway is credited with opening up the interior of the United States in the early 19th century? A, Erie Canal, B, Middlesex Canal, C, Santee Canal, D, Dismal Swamp Canal, which doesn't sound fun. Blue team.
A, Erie.
That's correct.
Engineering 25.
What is the name of the first known civil engineer who is thought to have introduced the use of columns in architecture and designed the first step pyramid? A, Djoser, B, Apollodorus of Damascus, C, Imhotep.
Is it B?
That's incorrect.
D.
That's incorrect. It was C, Imhotep. Red team.
Math for 15.
At a science conference where each person shook the hand of each other person once, and there were a total of 66 handshakes, how many people were present?
X times X minus 1, right? What do you mean, just like half? Yeah.
Blue team.
8.
Incorrect. Red team.
7.
Incorrect. The correct answer is 12.
Science 15.
Name one of the 2 types of mammals that lay eggs. Red team.
Platypus.
Correct. The other is the echidna.
Technology for 10.
In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee wrote a proposal which formed the basis of what would eventually become what network? Blue team?
The internet.
Yes, that is correct.
Technology 15.
In the 1st century BCE, Hero of Alexandria described the first eolipile, which is an early example of what form of technology? A, elevator, B, solar oven, C, automaton, D, steam engine. Red team.
Was it A?
Incorrect. Blue team?
B.
Incorrect. The correct answer was D, steam engine. Red team.
Science for 20.
What celestial body was discovered in 1871 and first referred to as George's star? A, Beta Centauri, B, Uranus, C, Pluto, D, Ceres. Blue team.
C.
Incorrect. Red team.
B.
That's correct. Uranus.
Math for 20.
Find the product of the absolute values of the 2 possible solutions for x from the following equation. X squared plus 3x equals 40. Blue team?
40.
That's correct.
Technology 20.
What term for a person who is anti-technology originates with protesters of labor-saving machinery during the early Industrial Revolution? A, saboteur, B, Luddite, C, Jacobian, D, Guelph.
B.
Blue team? That's right, Luddite.
Technology 25.
Theoretical physicist Freeman Dyson's thought experiment known as the Astro Chicken describes an automaton intended for what purpose? Space exploration, B, seeding other planets with life, C, terraforming, D, space combat. Red team?
D.
Incorrect. Blue team?
B.
Incorrect. The correct answer is space exploration. So red team. Your choice.
Science for 25.
Who is generally credited with the discovery of radioactivity?
Marie Curie.
Yes, that is correct.
So finish math.
What shape are the sides of a dodecahedron? Blue team.
A 10-sided shape.
That's incorrect.
That's 10 sides, doesn't it?
Red team.
Trapezoid.
Incorrect. The correct answer is pentagons. And after that challenging grid of destiny, we have the red team at 85 points and the blue team at 155 points. But of course, anything can happen in our end game. If you teams want to start considering your point wagers, the category for the end game question is math. So we'll be right back with our end game after this. And we are back here at MEST Up, where we have the red team from Kennebunk with 85 points and the blue team from Waynflete at 155 points. But in our end game, you will get a chance to wager points. And don't forget, even if you lose here today, the top 8 teams will go on to the semifinals. And so now it's time for the end game question, the category of which is math. If 200 is added to the positive integer x, the result is a square integer. Adding 276 to the same integer, x, results in another square integer. Solve for x.
Nice. 225 is 15 squared. So 25.
10 seconds.
So x would be 25. What's that? Minus 25. 2. 51 is.
And time. Red team, do you have an answer?
25.
25, that is incorrect. The correct answer is 124, and you wagered 20 points, and so that leaves you at 65. And blue team.
We didn't get it.
Okay. And you also wagered 20 points, and so that means you are at 135 points. So blue team, so you guys are our winners today. Congratulations, and great job to you guys as well. Maybe we'll see you in the semifinals. We'll see. And brains have been working hard all around today. Be sure to tune in for our next episode, where 2 more schools will test their STEM knowledge, and we will continue to unravel just how messed up math, science, engineering, and technology really can be. And speaking of technology, you can also check us out at mestup.tv and find out what's intriguing Maya lately on our Facebook page. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on MEST Up.
MEST Up is brought to you by Mid-Coast Federal Credit Union.